The COVID-19 pandemic has affected Kenya's food systems directly through impacts on food supply and demand, and indirectly through decreased capacity to produce and distribute food. In response to that, the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock Fisheries and Cooperatives is addressing food supply chain and nutrition challenges through the establishment of 1 million kitchen gardens in rural and urban households. Through these 1 million kitchen gardens, the ministry is contributing to the Big Four agenda on the 100% food and nutrition security by enabling households to maintain a healthy diet. The ministry is supporting vulnerable households with kitchen garden starter kits that are simple, space, and water efficient. So far, the first phase of the project has supported over 200,000 households through the KSAP, NARIC, and CVAP projects. In phase 2, the ministry will support an additional 200,000 vulnerable households in setting up their own kitchen gardens.
We are here today at the Ministry of Agriculture, Kilimo House, where we have the model kitchen garden demonstration site, where we set up all the technologies that all households are able to adapt to be able to give them not only knowledge, but also be able to, give them the instructions, step-by-step guidance on how to set up these gardens.
There are several incredible ideas through which one can establish a simple, space and water efficient kitchen garden using locally available materials. They include the cone garden, the multi-story garden, the micro garden, Tyre garden, moist bed garden, the wick irrigation garden, and the simple drip irrigation garden. In this video, we will look at how you can establish a Tyre kitchen garden. Tyre kitchen gardens are becoming a popular method of farming technology and recycling. They can accommodate a variety of crops, either deep-rooted or shallow-rooted depending on the Tyre size. They can also be designed into different shapes, heights, sizes and colors according to one's creativity. In case you want to plant root crops, you will need a double Tyre garden whereby you will place a Tyre on top of another. Tyres can also be used to construct a multi-story garden.
So to establish a Tyre garden, you have to cite the site where you want to establish the Tyre garden. It should not be in a shed, and then the site should be flat. And Tyre gardens can be constructed in anywhere where even if the land is not productive, you can still produce there a Tyre garden. So when you want to construct the Tyre garden, you will get the Tyre itself, the one you want to use, and then you will cut off the top of the Tyre so that it opens to give you more space. Thus it will give you more, the population of the plants will now be high. Once you've cut the Tyre, let's say now you are constructing a single Tyre. You've cut the Tyre open. You can now decide if you want to paint it or you don't want to paint it. It is optional, but painting makes it look beautiful, especially if you are using it as a landscaping site for you. So you can paint it with the colors that you like, and then after painting, you cut a polythene sheet, put at the center of the Tyre garden, the one before you put the soil. And also for the one on the Tyre garden that you put on the ground, it is optional. You can put the polythene or you don't put. But if you are planting on a veranda, you have to put the polythene so that it doesn't dirtify the veranda. Once you put the polythene inside, you pour the soil, which is at a mixture of 1:1, manure 1 and topsoil 1. After you pour the soil and fill to the brim, you will water the Tyre. That is for the single Tyre garden. And then after watering, you will now plant the seedlings that you want or the seeds that you want. So the single tire garden is very good for vegetables, and then the simple fruits like strawberry. So you can plant there any vegetable. It can be cabbage, it can be pears, it can be local vegetables. The single tire garden is okay. Now, if you want to plant root crops, especially root crops like arrowroots, you will need a double tire garden. That means you will put 2 tires, one on the ground and another one on top of the one on the ground. Once you put the 2 tires, and both tires should be cut from the top. So put the soil and then you plant the arrowroots. And then there's another tire garden you can do also. It's called a story tire garden. And for a story tire garden, you will require a number of tires, and the tires you have to make for them a platform where they'll be sitting on for you to plant your vegetables. The story tire garden, you start by the measurement on the ground. You get the place where you want to put your story tire garden, and then you get to the center, you put the pole. That is the first thing you do, you put the pole. You have to make sure the pole is strong enough because it will hold a number of tires that are having soil. So you put the pole. After you've secured the pole with cement, we like you to secure it with cement so that to make it more strong and firm. And then you put your first tire, which is the bigger tire, because we don't like using the very big tires on top because of the platform. It can easily collapse. But if you have a strong platform, you can still continue with big tires. So you start with your tire on the ground that is opened on one side. The big tire should be on the ground. And you will put the big tire once you put the post. So the tire, you will enter it from the top. From the top of the post, you get the tire to the ground. Once you've gotten the tire to the ground, you will make now the platform for the next tire. So depending on what you want to grow, you will space depending on the next tire, depending on what you want to grow. So like us, since we are growing spices, for the spacing down, like this one, although it's already planted, we have 1 foot, like this is around 45 centimeters up to the soil. And then there is also space inside, like another 20 centimeters. So it's around 2 feet from the ground. So once you make the pole 2 feet from the ground, you are putting your next platform for the tire you want to put. Because we'll be measuring this before you put the soil. So you'll measure from the ground. So it will be 2 feet from the ground, you put your next platform. Now depending on the vegetable you want to grow, it is very important that if you have vegetables that are too long and that might be affected by this, you can increase the spacing a bit. But 2 feet, it is okay. And then, now you make your platform. When you feel you want a twin tire, you will from one tire story garden to another one, you will measure 1 meter apart. They can be on the same line, but 1 meter apart. So once you've secured the post for the second tire, now the first tire will not start on the ground. So they give each other space for the crops to grow. The first tire, now it will start in the middle of the second tire on the other one, and the second tire and the first tire on the first post. You'll put it inside, and we shall put them inside through the hole up. And then you'll make a platform now using the tire that you put on the second garden. So they are spacing in the twine. That is when it like this one and this one comes in the middle, this one will come in the middle of this one, and this one now the top one will be a little bit high. That's why we said 3 are good. You can't do 4 tires, it will go too high. So if you want the third tire now the first tire for the third tire, it will be 1 meter away, the post, but now the third tire, the first tire will start from the ground. So you keep on alternating the tire so that the crop has space to grow. And you can grow a variety of vegetables on the tire. You can choose to grow the same vegetable, or you can choose to grow different vegetables for each tire.
Our appeal to the viewers that may be watching this is, see something and implement. This is how we collectively contribute to food and nutrition security when each and every household is able to produce safe food within the confines of their homes.
From this tutorial, it is our hope that you will be able to establish your own kitchen garden and enjoy a constant supply of fresh, nutritious vegetables, fruits and spices for you and your family. In case you need more information, kindly log on to www.kilimo.go.ke.